Welcome everyone to Russ's Weather Recon. This is a live segment here. We're going to be talking about some severe weather that is currently affecting the central Oklahoma area. We have a total of about 5 different tornado warnings right now in central Oklahoma. We've got a couple of tornado warnings that are affecting the Oklahoma City area. Imagine that. Seems to happen quite often. We're going to take a little bit closer look here and I'm going to move this overlay here out of the way. Okay, I think we're ready now. We're going to take a gander at these tornado warnings down here and around the Oklahoma City area. Give you some ideas on how much longer they are in effect. What areas really need to look out for this. This particular tornado warning expires at 5:30 p.m. That goes for another 15 minutes. Moving northeast at 40 miles per hour. It is a tornado. It is a radar indicated tornado warning. Locations involved include Midwest City, Smith Village,
A new severe
Oklahoma
thunderstorm
City,
warning has been issued.
the Oklahoma Capitol Building, Nichols Hills, the Fairgrounds, Spencer,
New
Tacoma
information.
Park,
This
Bell
severe
City,
thunderstorm
Forest Park,
warning
Will
has been
Rogers
updated.
Airport, Lake Aluma, Bethany, War Acres, and the Village, and Tinker Air Force Base.
A new
Edmond
severe
and Choctaw.
thunderstorm warning has been
Those
issued.
areas are all included in this particular tornado warning here. Like I said, it is radar indicated tornado. Let's see if we can figure out exactly where the rotation is in this storm. Yeah, that's going to be a little bit harder to discern where the rotation is in this watch box here. It goes on for the next 14
New information.
minutes.
This severe considerable destructive thunderstorm warning has been updated.
Check out another product here. See if I can get a little bit better idea on where the rotation is in that box. I really don't see any discernible rotation in that box anymore. Not quite sure where that would be inside that box, but if you are inside this box here, take to your storm shelters now, and we'll try to get a little bit more information about that particular warning back to you here in a minute. Okay. Looks like this storm actually had a tornado reported with it 4 miles southeast of Newcastle. That was at 5:04 p.m. So that's been about 13 minutes ago that they spotted a tornado there on the ground with this particular box here. The areas included in this particular tornado warning are Newcastle, Moore, Blanchard, Norman, and Oklahoma City. That particular warning goes on for the next 27 minutes, moving northeast at 21 miles per hour. So if you're in any of those communities, Moore, Newcastle, Blanchard, Norman, and Oklahoma City, hope you're in your tornado shelters now. Looks like the particular area.
A new radar indicated tornado warning has been
probably
issued.
This area right here. Let me switch over to another See if I can mark here on the screen of where I'm seeing the discernible locations of number one will be right here in this area. And number two is going to be up here in this little notch here. Are the two areas that I'm saying that the areas of rotation are going to be located. But like I said, if you're in the watch boxes, make sure you are in your storm shelter. This watch box here goes for another 41 minutes. The one here back behind it, it's supposed to be in the Moore, Newcastle, Blanchard, Norman, and Oklahoma City areas. It remains in effect for another 26 minutes. So we've got these two tornado warnings here. I believe the one out here in front is going to be an extension of this one back here behind. These lines are moving at 20 to 30 miles per hour. This particular line of storms here moving through the greater Oklahoma City area. Let's go back, take a look at the cells a little bit further north here. Zoom out. Go on up the line here. We've got several severe thunderstorm warnings up the line of storms in central Oklahoma. This severe thunderstorm warning in effect until 5:45 p.m. this evening. The storms are moving east at 36 miles per hour. Radar indicated hail threat. Tornadoes are possible in this area. The whole area of central Oklahoma, eastern Oklahoma, central and eastern Kansas is all under a severe thunderstorm watch for the rest of this evening and into the early nighttime
New
hours.
information, this tornado warning has been updated.
Max wind gusts in this particular severe thunderstorm warning here. About 60 mile per hour gusts can be expected up to an inch size hail with these storms. Like I said, there's several more severe thunderstorm warnings on up this line of storms. Got one here in the Pawnee and Fairfax areas. 60 mile per hour winds and 3/4 inch hail can be expected in this watch box. Also have another severe thunderstorm warning here in the Pawhuska area. About 60 mile per hour winds and 3/4 inch hail expected in these storms, north of Pawhuska, all the way up to the Kansas-Oklahoma border, here south of Sedan.
New information, this severe
We've got another
thunderstorm
cell
warning has
here
been
west of
updated.
Independence, Kansas. This particular cell is
New information, this tornado warning has been updated.
this particular cell here, west of Independence. Probably got a little bit of hail in it. It does not have a severe thunderstorm warning with it currently. Very well could here in the next few minutes. But most of these cells in Oklahoma and Kansas is going to have some wind and hail associated with them, the more heavy cells. Like I said, that the severe thunderstorm watch is in the box here that goes all the way out into eastern Oklahoma, includes all of southeastern Kansas area. But right now we still have 3 tornado warnings. Looks like they've dropped the one that was over the top of Oklahoma City. We'll take a look at these a little bit closer here. We've already talked about the one tornado warning here. Continues until 6 p.m.
A new radar indicated
Little Axe,
tornado warning
Stella,
has been
Norman,
issued.
Lake Thunderbird, and Moore, Oklahoma areas. This is moving east at 29 miles per hour. It's in effect for another 37 minutes. So if you're in those communities, you need to be in your tornado shelter now. Got another tornado warning here. See if I can get the information for you on that one. It is in the area of Wynwood, Antioch,
A new
White
considerable
Bread,
destructive thunderstorm warning
and
has been
Pauls
issued.
Valley, Oklahoma. This one here actually shows a hook on the back.
New
of this
information.
storm.
This severe
So the
considerable
areas you
destructive
definitely want
thunderstorm
to
warning
be
has been updated.
Looking out for any possible tornadoes would be right here. This is what they call the hook echo on the backside of this storm. This is where the rotation is. The precipitation is actually rotating around the updraft right here in this area. The tornado would probably be located right there. If there is one, let's see. This is radar indicated. Nothing's been indicated on the ground. No observers have observed anything on the ground with that particular storm as of yet. Let's zoom in a little closer and see if there's any other. To give you a better idea of where this
A new severe thunderstorm warning has been
headed
issued.
towards. Looks like the rotation right here is going to be north of Elmore City.
New information. This severe thunderstorm
just
warning has
updated
been
here.
updated.
Looks like it's kind of going off to the northeastern direction towards Pauls Valley. So if you are in the community of Pauls Valley, Oklahoma, make sure you're in your storm shelters and taking cover for this tornado warning storm. Tornado warning expires in another 35 minutes. So goes in effect until 6 p.m. Let's drop further south here. There's another tornado warning a little bit further south in southern Oklahoma. This tornado warning expires at 6 o'clock also. Central Daylight
A
Time
new
this
severe
evening.
thunderstorm
Moving
warning has
northeast
been
at
issued.
28 miles per hour. It is a radar indicated tornado warning. Graham County are the locations affected. It's going to be Graham, Springer, Milo, Turner Falls, Davis, Fox, and Hilden. If you're in any of these locations in this tornado warning box, what I'm talking about here is the tornado warning box is the purple flashing box. I'll outline that for you here so you know what I'm talking about. This purple box that is flashing is the tornado warning. If you live inside that box, make sure you're in your tornado shelters now. Heed this warning. You just never know when it'll drop a tornado. If there's not already
A new
one on the
considerable
ground.
destructive thunderstorm
This is
warning
headed
has
up
been
towards the
issued.
Springer area, Springer, Oklahoma, the Davis area, and the Doherty area eventually. This tornado warning goes for another 33 minutes. Likely rotation is going to be back here on the backside of the storm in that area right there that I circled. That's the area we are looking at for the rotation. Like I said, this is one of three tornado warnings right now in the state of Oklahoma, south central Oklahoma, between the Red River and the Ardmore area down here in south central Oklahoma and up to the Oklahoma City area. We've got three different tornado warnings.
New information.
Like the
This severe
Norman,
thunderstorm
Oklahoma
warning has
area,
been updated.
Pauls Valley and the Hilden area. Those three areas. Make sure you're getting your tornado warnings and everything on your cellular devices and heeding those warnings. Make sure you are in your tornado shelters if you are in those three tornado warned areas of south central Oklahoma.
New information. This severe thunderstorm
Back
warning
further to
has
the
been
south and
updated.
west, got several storms The flashing red polygon boxes, those are severe thunderstorm warnings. You're actually going to have some very large hail and damaging winds inside those boxes. That's why they have severe thunderstorm warnings with them. Seen a lot of wind reports, severe wind damage reports today, and also some hail reports today. Also, these storms are putting down a lot of rainfall. So you're also going to have flooding in these areas. The only tornado that has been reported was at 5:04 p.m., a little over 30 minutes ago. 4 miles southeast of Newcastle, they reported a tornado on the ground. That was an official National Weather Service observation. Looks like that actually came from the National Weather Service office. That observation did. So at 5:04 p.m., the National Weather Service employees there at the National Weather Service office in Norman, Oklahoma, reported this tornado on the ground about 4 miles southeast of Newcastle. That's why this tornado warning is continuing for another 30 minutes. Let's try to zoom in on that area of rotation. Like I said, it's a little bit harder to discern the area they're talking about here. I'm going to say it's a little bit harder to discern because it is that close to the radar site.
New information. This severe destructive thunderstorm warning has been updated.
That's probably why it's having a hard time picking up the exact area of rotation. Still have that particular warning going on for another 29 minutes.
A new severe thunderstorm warning has been issued.
Tornado warning storm. It expires in 14 minutes. That is if it actually another 29 minutes. I'm sorry. The severe part of the severe thunderstorm warning part of that goes for another 14 minutes. But the tornado warning for this Pauls Valley storm goes on for another 29 minutes. So about 6 o'clock. And the rotation is actually showing up pretty good.
A new severe thunderstorm warning has been issued.
Particular scan here. The area that we are looking at for the rotation is this area right here where the greens and bright reds come together. Right there in that area. This is on a beeline for the Pauls Valley, community of Pauls Valley. That's downstream of the rotation that we're looking at here on the radar. So everybody in the little town of Pauls Valley of Oklahoma needs to be in your tornado shelters now. So yeah, that particular rotation is showing up quite a bit better than the one that's over Norman, Oklahoma.
A new severe thunderstorm warning has been issued.
South to the next one down the line here. It appears the rotation.
A new flash flood warning has been issued.
Switch back to that. Yeah.
New information. This severe thunderstorm warning has been updated.
The rotation is showing right here in this area. A little bit weaker than the Pauls Valley storm, but it is still showing enough rotation on the radar that they issued a tornado warning for this storm. It is off to the north and east of Heldon, Oklahoma. See if we can figure out exactly. It's moving off towards the Doherty area. Looks like the only little town that's be affected between Springer and Doherty in the next 30 minutes. So we are tracking some severe weather, some couple of tornado warning storms here in south central Oklahoma this afternoon and this evening. These will be going on probably throughout the rest of the evening, off and on, along this cold front.
New information. This tornado warning has been updated.
I do want to welcome everybody that's listening to the Russ's Weather Recon YouTube page. Right now we're streaming on Twitch and YouTube, both at the same time here. Trying to get out the word on the weather today. As it happens, got quite a bit of severe weather up and down this line of storms. We still have several severe thunderstorm warnings up here into northeastern Oklahoma now. We'll go up here to the one along the Kansas-Oklahoma border first.
New information. This severe considerable destructive thunderstorm warning has been updated.
Expires at 5:45 p.m. Goes on for the next 10 minutes.
New information. This severe thunderstorm warning has been
Maximum hail
updated.
size about 3/4 of an inch, 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts can be expected. Areas affected, locations affected: Big Heart, Osage Hills State Park, Personia, Washashi State Park, Hula, Pahusky.
New
and
information.
Sunset Lake.
This tornado warning has been
This
updated.
particular severe thunderstorm warning cell here.
New information. This severe thunderstorm warning has been
here.
updated.
To this cell.
New information. This tornado warning has been
here.
updated.
And this box goes on until 6 o'clock this evening. The storms are moving northeast at 37 miles per hour. Maximum hail size is about 3/4 of an inch. 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts can be expected. Anywhere in the areas of Ralston, Merrimack, Skeety, Webb City, Hawlett, Shidler, Pawnee, Jennings, Burbank, Fairfax, and Blackburn can expect 60-mile-per-hour winds and 3/4-inch hail in that particular severe thunderstorm warning. Move on down the line of storms here in central Oklahoma.
A new severe thunderstorm warning has been issued.
This particular severe thunderstorm warning.
New information. This severe considerable destructive thunderstorm warning has been updated.
The storms are moving northeast at 44 miles per hour, 3/4-inch hail and 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. The locations affected: Warwick, Ingalls, Yale, Parkland, Kearney, McLeod, Davenport, Newalla, Way, Luther,
New information.
Chandler, Wellston,
This severe
Perkins,
thunderstorm warning has been
Meeker,
updated.
Sparks, Meriden, and Ripley. So if you live inside this box here, you can expect 60-mile-per-hour winds and 3/4-inch hail. Still have a tornado warning in effect for the next 23 minutes for the areas of Little Axe, Stella, Lake Thunderbird, and Norman, Oklahoma. This one did drop a tornado down in the area west of Norman at about 5:04 p.m. this evening, Central Daylight Time. National Weather Service employees out of Norman actually saw that tornado on the ground. And the box we're talking about is right here east of Norman, north and east of Noble, Oklahoma.
Warning, a new special marine warning has been issued.
In about 22 more minutes, about 6 p.m. Still have another tornado warning on down the line here. This is off to the west of Pauls Valley, Oklahoma. That goes on for the next 22 minutes. Expires at 6 p.m. Radar indicated tornado, Whitebead and Pauls Valley. If you're in those two communities, be in your storm shelter now. Take cover from this dangerous tornado warning storm. If you're in Paul's Valley, be in your shelter now. Very important. Switch back to the other radar. The area that the tornado would probably be in is just right here to the south and west of Paul's Valley. This is what we call the notch. Kind of see a rotating hook area here, right here in this area. This is the area we're looking at with the rotation. Pretty much moving into the little community of Paul's Valley as we speak. Move on down to the line here for a little bit further south. The area of rotation in this tornado warned storm is going to be right here in this area. This is the hooking around. And let's see, Tatum's looks like the nearest town. So this is going to be off to the south and east of Tatum's. And Ratcliffe City, off to the south and east of Ratcliffe City. You should be in the clear there. These are moving off to the east at about 20 to 30 miles per hour. If you're in the towns of Dougherty or Davis, up here in the very edge of the box, be in your storm shelters. Keep updated with your weather apps that you've got on your phones or your weather radio. Make sure you've got a way to get warnings. I mean, very important. We'll zoom back out here. Looks like everything else down here in southwestern Oklahoma is all going to be, and into northern Texas around Wichita Falls is all going to be severe thunderstorms with hail and high winds. Right now, we've still got 3 tornado warning storms here in south central Oklahoma. One being off to the east of Norman, Oklahoma, is moving east. Looks like they just extended this tornado warning for another 50 minutes. The Norman storm. We'll see if they extend the Pauls Valley storm, tornado warning storm. It shows, yeah, they're over the top of each other. Tornado warning expires in 29 minutes on this particular storm. The Pauls Valley tornado warning storm. There's Pauls Valley. The rotation is going to be right here in this area over the top of Pauls Valley as we speak.
A new flash flood warning has been issued.
And we've got the 3rd tornado warning on down here between Tatum's and Lone Grove. This is moving off to the east and northeast towards Dougherty and Davis, Oklahoma. These particular line of storms are out in front of the main line of storms back here behind. The actual cold front is going to be back behind these tornado warning storms that are out in front of the line. Normally they have a better chance to rotate when they're out in front and not embedded in this line of storms. Since these are out here and out in front of this line, are the ones we're going to have to be worried about for the next several hours. As this cold front pushes off to the east, this storms will also push off to the east. Down here.
A new severe thunderstorm warning has been issued.
This looks like they... This is
a new radar indicated tornado warning has been issued.
In the purple shade here, they've issued a tornado watch for eastern Oklahoma.
New information. Oklahoma, this severe considerable destructive thunderstorm warning has been updated.
Box. This is a tornado watch. This is in effect until 10 p.m. this evening.
New information. This severe considerable destructive thunderstorm warning has been updated.
And a few tornadoes this evening in that area.
A new radar-indicated tornado warning has been issued.
They just issued another tornado warning for this particular area. Looks like the area of concern is going to be right here. This is another little hook echo area.
A new radar-indicated tornado warning has been issued.
That tornado warning will expire in 46 minutes.
A new destructive thunderstorm warning has been issued.
It'll expire at 6:30, northeast at 23 miles per hour. And the community of Wynwood, Oklahoma, will be affected right here. This is the area we're looking at for the rotation in this storm.
New information.
So
this flash flood warning has been updated.
In south central Oklahoma, that is still ongoing. Still have the tornado warning up here. Let's see what communities they're calling for on this one again. Till 6:30, there's a tornado warning for the locations of Little Axe, Pink, Tecumseh, Shawnee, Stella, Harjo, Brooksville, Bethel Acres, Earlsboro, Lake Thunderbird, and Norman, Oklahoma. I'm going to say probably right here in this area is where they were looking. So if you're in Bethel Acres, Shawnee, Tecumseh, and Brooksville, and Pink, this storm is still coming in your coming to your location. You need to be in your shelters. You are under a tornado warning. If you are in the area of Pink, Bethel Acres, Tecumseh, Shawnee, Brooksville, and Earlsboro, Oklahoma. That is off to the east of Norman and south and east of Oklahoma City. Tornado warning here goes on for another 44 minutes. Still got this storm here in the Pauls Valley area. Tornado warned for another 14 minutes. Looks like 6 p.m. when that tornado warning will expire. And then we've got the newest one here coming into Wynwood, Oklahoma. And then we've got this one down here. Looks like Davis and Dougherty and Springer areas. The rotation here is going to be right here in this area. Is the area of concern that we're looking at on this particular storm. These storms are all moving off to the north and east at about 20 to 25 miles per hour. So they're moving pretty slow. These particular cells, you should have a little bit of time as long as you're getting your warnings and paying heed to those warnings and being in your tornado shelters. You should be fine. Right now we're looking here at Russ's Weather Recon. We're looking at these 4 tornado warning storms in south central Oklahoma. Out here around the Shawnee area, the Pauls Valley area. I believe this was Wynwood area and the Davis and Dougherty area. Got these particular cells here. The newest tornado warning out of all these is moving into the Wynwood, Oklahoma area here. Rotation is going to be right here in this particular area of this storm. They're moving off from the south and west to the north and east, to the east, northeast. Not moving due northeast by any means, but they're moving off to the east and northeast. And this whole area out in here, This purple pink box here is a fairly new tornado watch in effect until 10 o'clock. Looks like it covers all the way up to Tulsa, parts of northeast Oklahoma, mainly east central Oklahoma, and that'll all move into the southeastern part of the state as the evening progresses. We move on up north of this line of cells. This line of cells here is all going to be associated with the cold front. The cold front's probably right here, probably right behind this line of cells that goes up into southeastern Kansas. Do you have a severe thunderstorm warning for the Chandler, Oklahoma area, Cushing, Oklahoma, Yale, Oklahoma, Meeker, and McLeod? You can expect 60-mile-per-hour winds and 3/4-inch hail in that area for the next 40 minutes or so. Still talking about the tornado warning storms down here in south central Oklahoma, all the way from the Ardmore area north up into the east part of the Oklahoma City and Norman areas. This has been ongoing since about 5 o'clock this evening, or a little bit before then. We've been on the air probably for the last 40 minutes or so, kind of giving you some updates on where these storms are headed and the intensity of these particular storms. As far as I can tell, there's not really been any other reports of tornadoes on the ground with the 3 southern cells down here, Pauls Valley, Wynwood, and the Dougherty and Davis areas. This is all radar indicated tornado warnings. These particular cells are all radar indicated tornado warnings going on for the next. Southern cell expires in 10 minutes. Northern cell 10 minutes, and about 40 more minutes for the middle cell here. If you're living in this area, anywhere from the Dougherty, Davis areas, Wynwood, and Pauls Valley areas, be in your storm shelters till you get the all clear. And then you move on up here to this tornado warning off to the east of Norman, Oklahoma. Norman's back here. The area of concern is going to be this area right here around the Bethel Acres area, Brooksville, Tecumseh, and Shawnee. You're in the path of this storm. Be in your tornado shelters now. If we look back here west of Norman, National Weather Service employees observed a tornado on the ground at 5:04 p.m. this evening, 4 miles southwest east of Newcastle, Oklahoma. So we have had a tornado on the ground from this particular storm here. Like I said, it's moving to the Bethel Acres area, Shawnee, Tecumseh, Brooksville, and that area right here is the area we're talking about. Let's switch over to some storm relative velocity. Looks like it's going to be right here in this area is the area we're speaking of, where the reds and greens come together, bright reds and bright greens. Let's go on down here and look at this. The Pauls Valley rotation is going to be off to the north of Pauls Valley now, right here between Paoli and Pauls Valley, just almost right in the middle of between those two towns. It's moving off to the north and east towards Stratford, Byers, in that area. The rotation is not as strong around the Wynwood area. It's going to be right here in this general location is the rotation. We look at the rotation here on the Davis and Dougherty storm. It's going to be back here in this general area. Tatum's off to the east of Tatum's. It's probably about 5 or 6 miles east of Tatum's. Looks like the area is right here that we're concerned about with the actual radar indicated tornado rotation area of the storm. This is moving off to the northeast, northeast. Looks like it'll probably affect the Davis area more than the Doherty area now. But if you live in Davis or even the rural areas between Davis and Wynwood, this storm will definitely affect you. And that expires in another 6 minutes. We'll see if they go ahead and continue this particular tornado warning west of Davis, Oklahoma. We still have 4 tornado warned storms down here in south central Oklahoma along this line of storms. Let me switch back to the what we're looking at here is the real bright red, and then you've got the bright blues here, and that's going to be your gate-to-gate shear, which is your rotating storm. Right there is the rotation in this storm, showing up pretty good on this particular view. The rotation here southwest of Wynwood, right here in this location, is your rotation in the storm. The Pauls Valley rotation, it's kind of spread out a little more than it was earlier, but it's going to be off to the north and east of Pauls Valley. In this general region right there. And we'll go on up here. It's really spread out along the leading edge of this line between Pink and Bethel Acres. That'll be moving into the Shawnee, Tecumseh, and Brooksville area right here in this line, just kind of embedded in this line of storms. Probably right out in here, and any one of these little notches right in there, right in here, is going to be your rotation out on the leading edge of this line of storms. We still have the four tornado warning storms here in south central Oklahoma is what we're talking about this afternoon, this evening on Russ's Weather Recon, coming to you live here with this weather update. Still got a severe thunderstorm warning for the Cushing, Stroud, Hara areas, Perkins, Oklahoma area, north central Oklahoma, off to the north and east of Oklahoma City. You've got some hail in this cell, 60-mile-per-hour winds, 3/4 inch hail can be expected with this storm. Let's look at what's going on up here in southeastern Kansas. Don't look quite as vicious up here in this area. The hail's going to probably be a little bit smaller. Only a 20% chance of severe hail in this storm here off to the north and west of Parsons, north and east of Neodesha. A little bit of hail can be expected here north and west of, like up to 1/2 inch hail, north and west of Independence, Kansas, and off to the west of Caney, about 1/2 inch size hail. Looks like the heaviest cell is going to be right here in the Thayer, Kansas area. Probably getting some hail in this cell right here. These are all moving off to the east at about probably 30 miles per hour. The individual cells are moving off to the northeast. Within this line of storms, the line of storms is moving from the west to the east. Like starting to get some isolated stuff out here around Pittsburgh, Columbus areas, Arma, Girard, in those areas. Be getting some rainfall here in just a little bit. But this line of storms are moving off to the east with the cold front. This is the cold front. And then these lines of individual cells are moving off to the northeast up this line. So we'll all be getting some more rainfall here in southeast Kansas in a little bit. The story this evening are these tornado warning storms down here in south central Oklahoma. All the way from about Shawnee, Oklahoma, down to the Pauls Valley area, Wynwood, and off to the north of Ardmore. 4 main warnings. Got number 1, 2, 3, and 4 down here. Most of these warnings are going on for about the next anywhere from 15 to 45 minutes. Shawnee County tornado warning storm, Oklahoma and Shawnee and Tecumseh areas are under tornado warning for the next 31 minutes. The Pauls Valley storm, that area looks like it's about ready to expire. We'll see if they'll extend that tornado warning here in just a little bit. And tornado warning here around Wynwood for the next 30 minutes. And down here around the Davis area for the next 45 minutes or so. If I had to take an educated guess, I would say that this storms out in this area will probably all turn into a line of storms. Probably all congeal into the line of storms that are along the cold front back here. The cold front will probably catch up to these storms and weaken these storms down here considerably. But we will just wait and see if that actually happens or not. Still getting some hail back here around the Purcell, Oklahoma area, up to 1.25 inch size hail, just in this cell north of Purcell, Oklahoma. Doesn't look like any large, giant hail today, thank goodness. Here's another little cell off to the south and west of Davis with this tornado warning cell, up to 1 inch hail in that particular storm. We still have 3 tornado warnings. Doesn't look like they extended the Pauls Valley storm. Looks like they extended it into a severe thunderstorm warning instead of the tornado warning that was here north and east of Pauls Valley. This is now a severe thunderstorm warning cell, 60-mile-per-hour winds and up to inch size hail. In this particular severe thunderstorm warning off to the north and east of Pauls Valley, Oklahoma. So right now we are still talking about 3 tornado warnings. We'll start down here at the south end again. Off to the south and west of Davis, Oklahoma. Right here you'll see the little notch and the wraparound here behind. Right here is going to be the rotation that we're talking about with this storm. This is Davis, Oklahoma here. Right in this area is the rotation. So if you are living in Davis, Oklahoma, or in that area, be in your tornado shelters now. Take shelter from this dangerous storm. This goes on for another 43 minutes. So it will affect Davis and Sulphur, Oklahoma. Move on to the Wynwood storm. The rotation we're talking about in this storm is going to be probably close to the Wynwood area right now. If you live in Wynwood, I hope you're in your shelters. This will go on for this particular tornado warning, will go on for the next 27 minutes. And we'll move on up here to this tornado warning storm between Shawnee and Tecumseh, Oklahoma. Right here in this area is the area I'm most concerned about. It's a little notch here in this particular line of storms. That's where you're going to get your rotation usually in these type of storms. Let me switch back over to the base storm relative velocity. And right here in this area is the area that I'm most concerned about in this storm. Got some really strong winds at the very least, and you could definitely have some type of a tornadic spin up right here in this general location. We'll move down the line here. Looks like just off to the north and east of Pauls Valley, they still got a little bit of rotation with this storm that was tornado warned earlier. They turned this tornado warning into a severe thunderstorm warning, so it could still have a possibility of a tornado right here north and east of Pauls Valley. Just be on the lookout there in that area. The windward storm, rotation is going to be probably right over the top of windward, right here in this general location. Off to the south and west of Davis, pretty broad rotation still in this storm. Right here in this area, got the really bright greens right here, and the darker red, or the lighter, darker reds here. When those come together, that's going to be your radar indicated rotation within this storm. This tornado warning here for this area, west of Davis, south of windward, goes on for the next 40 minutes. So you're talking at about 6:45-ish. So downstream from this tornado warning, you're talking about Sulphur, Hickory, Roth, Fitzhugh. Be on the lookout, guys. This is your advanced warning right now. This will likely continue for several more minutes, at least 40 more minutes is what they're expecting. So within the next hour to an hour and a half, it's going to affect these communities right out here. Fitzhugh, Roth, Hickory, Sulphur. But the one that the community right now that needs to be the most concerned is Davis, Oklahoma. If you're in that area, please be in your shelters now. They issue these warnings for a reason. That reason is to keep you safe, keep you in your shelters until these storms pass. That's why they issue these tornado warnings. We've still got 3 active tornado warnings in south central Oklahoma area. This one just west of Davis. Probably off to the north and east of Wynwood now. We'll check this update here. Yeah, the rotation is a little more broad than what it was, but it's off to the north and east of Wynwood, Oklahoma right now. So if you're in that area, off to towards the Stratford area, the Roth area, I know the Roth area and Hickory area, Sulphur, will be affected probably by both of these storms here. And then the area here between Johnson and Tecumseh, Earlsboro, you're next in line for this line of cells that could drop down a tornado at any time. You're out here along this front edge of this line here, Brooksville, Tecumseh, Johnson. You're under a tornado warning. We are live here on Russ's Weather Recon this evening. This is June the 6th, 2025 at about 6:07 p.m. Central Daylight Time. Coming to you live here from southeast Kansas, little community of Parsons, Kansas, is where I'm based out of. Keeping a look out for these particular severe warned storms along this cold front, moving out across southeastern Kansas, eastern Oklahoma this evening. Still have 3 tornado warning cells in south central Oklahoma, between about the Shawnee, Oklahoma area, all the way down to north of Ardmore, Oklahoma, in the Sulphur, Oklahoma area. Got some rotation with those. Looks like you're in the all clear now in the Shawnee, Oklahoma area. They did allow that to expire, or they canceled it. The tornado warning that was up here east of Oklahoma City and Norman. Earlier at about 5 o'clock this evening, National Weather Service employee reported a tornado on the grounds 4 miles southeast of Newcastle. That was at 5:04 p.m., so that was about an hour ago. But that was observed by a National Weather Service employee. But they have allowed that tornado warning here between Johnson, Shawnee, and Tecumseh to expire. We still have a severe thunderstorm warning for that area. It will go on until about 7 p.m. this evening for the next 40 minutes or so. Expect 1 inch hail with that, 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. In this box here, it's outlined by the flashing red box, polygon area. Like I said, that goes on for the next 50 minutes. We've got an area here that's under a severe thunderstorm warning for the next 35 minutes. 60-mile-per-hour winds, 3/4 inch hail in that area. Still got the tornado warning here north and east of Wynwood, Oklahoma. Goes on for the next 20 minutes. And we're talking about the one coming into the Davis, Oklahoma area. If you live in Davis, be in your storm shelters now because you are under a tornado warning. The rotation will likely pass right over the top of your community. This particular tornado warning will expire in about 34 minutes. Downstream, we're talking about Davis being affected very shortly. Sulphur, Oklahoma, if you're in that area, be on the lookout, be in your shelters. You will likely be under a tornado warning very shortly for Davis, Oklahoma, and Sulphur, Oklahoma. We go back here behind these storms a little ways. Like they're expecting about 1.25 inch size hail in this particular cell. That's off south of Tatum's, between Tatum's and Hilton. If you're live in that area of Oklahoma, south and east of Ratcliffe City and Tatum's, you've got some big old hail in that particular area. Up to about 1.25 inch size hail. Right now, we're still got 2 tornado warnings in south central Oklahoma, around the Wynwood area and the Davis area. The one I'm most concerned of right now is the one moving into Davis, Oklahoma. The rotation is going to be right here in this notch, is what I'm looking at. Where the rotation is going to be located, and it looks like it will probably go right over the community of Davis. So if you're in Davis, be in your storm shelters now. Take cover. Please, I beg you, take cover if you're in Davis. Right now, those are the only 2 tornado warnings that we have left. The tornado warning up east of Norman, south and east of Oklahoma City. They've allowed that one to expire. It was up here in the Shawnee area. They allowed that to expire, and they replaced it with a severe thunderstorm warning with up to inch-size hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. They're continuing to issue severe thunderstorm warnings on out in front of this line between Shawnee, Chandler, Stroud, Yale. They're starting to issue severe thunderstorm warnings further to the east out in front of this line to give everybody a heads up that there's 3/4 inch hail and 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts that can be had in this line of storms here. Right now, all the severe weather is in Oklahoma, anywhere between about Cleveland, Oklahoma, all the way down to the Eureka area, down around the Red River, south central Oklahoma. If you're sitting here looking at this map and wondering what all the flashy things are, I'll try to explain. The flashing red boxes are all severe thunderstorm warnings. The purple or pink and white boxes here that are flashing around these polygons are tornado warnings. In these particular two boxes here, those are actually tornado warnings. And in the middle of those boxes, it actually says TOR and expires in 30 minutes. And then this one up here says TOR expires in 15 minutes. So it kind of gives me an idea of how much longer these tornado warnings will be in effect. But right now, if you're in the Davis, Oklahoma area, looks like this storm is affecting you right now. Let's switch back over to the storm relative velocity. And here is the rotation right here. And with the next update, that is going to be right over the little town of Davis, Oklahoma. Looks like we're starting to get a little bit of upper level rotation here on this cell, south and east of Ratcliffe City in Tatums, Oklahoma. This cell here is moving off to the east. And will affect the Doherty, Oklahoma area in about 40 minutes. The Davis cell, you can expect that to be affecting Davis as we speak. This is the rotation back here. Affect Davis as we speak right now. And it'll be at Roth, Oklahoma in about 32 minutes or so. Fitzhugh, Oklahoma, about 40 minutes. So if it keeps moving on this particular trajectory off to the north and east, it'll be in Roth in about 30 minutes, Fitzhugh in about 40 minutes or so. And looks like that's about, and maybe even Ada, Oklahoma, if it continues in the next 50 minutes or so. So anywhere upstream, Fitzhugh, Ada, be on the lookout. Any one of these particular storms off to your south and west can and possibly will produce a tornado at any given time. So if you live out here in this area on the eastern side of these storms, they can affect you pretty quick. Let's see here. After this passed through Wynwood, this particular tornado warning looks like it's affecting rural areas here south and west of Stratford, Oklahoma. Rotation is going to be right here in this general area. In this particular box here, in this area here is where it will likely affect as it moves on to the east-northeast. This back here, east of Tatum's and Ratcliffe City, this is the newer rotation that I was looking at earlier that's not currently tornado warned, but there is rotation there, so we could get a tornado warning at any time for that cell. This is the tornado warning cell that's kind of out on its own. Will affect Roth and Fitzhugh in the next 30 to 40 minutes or so. Rotation we're talking about is right here in the bright blues and the bright reds. Right here is the rotation. Like we've only got one tornado warning cell right now. That's the Davis cell here. Tornado, or the rotation is right here off to the probably north and east of Davis. Yeah, this cell back here is the one I'm speaking of that's starting to get some rotation, probably right back in this area here. It is severe thunderstorm warned right now. There's a severe thunderstorm warning for that cell right here with large hail up to an inch, 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. But we are starting to see some rotation back here in this part of the cell. The only tornado warning that is still in effect is for this cell off to the east, northeast of Davis, Oklahoma. Right in this area is where the rotation is going to be in this cell. It's supposed to expire in about 24 more minutes. I'd say that's probably about 6:45 p.m. Central Daylight Time. That looks like the only tornado warned cell that we have right now in south central Oklahoma. At any one time, probably an hour ago, we were dealing with about 4 different tornado warned cells in this area. South central Oklahoma, between Oklahoma City and Ardmore. What's happening right now is the line of storms from about the Bartlesville area up here off to the east of Norman and down here to Wichita Falls, Texas area. That is the cold front. This line of storms is actually catching up with these individual cells that was out in front of the cold front, and they pretty much will gobble these storms up eventually, which will weaken the tornado threat as that happens. Looks like they just issued a new tornado warning here until 7 o'clock p.m. Moving off to the north and east at 26 miles per hour. Locations included in this tornado warning include Stratford, Bing, Vanoss, and Ada, Oklahoma. So if you live inside this box, Stratford, Ada, and Bing, right here in this general, where this marker is right here, in the middle of that circle that I'm showing you, is where the rotation is, right there in this area. So Bing and Ada, looks like you are going to be in the path of this particular rotation of this storm here. Looks like the Ada, Oklahoma, will affect you in about 35 minutes. Bing, about 40 minutes or so, it'll be to you. Moving off to the north and east this general area here. So it is radar indicated rotation within this storm. Tornado warning goes on for the next 36 minutes. It'll affect Bing and Ada and just south of Stratford. If you live in these rural areas out in this area of south central, southeastern Oklahoma, you need to be in your tornado shelters now. Still have this tornado warning down here that affects the rural areas between Davis and Sulphur. Right here in this area is the rotation that we're been talking about. Looks like we just had another update on the radar scan. Right in here in this area is the notch we're looking at for the rotation in this storm. We'll see if they actually extend the tornado warning or allow it to expire here. This should move out of the watch box in the next 15 minutes or so, 15 to 20 minutes. So right now on the screen, we've got 2 tornado warnings, all in south central Oklahoma, moving off into the southeastern part of the state. This will all continue into the overnight hours tonight. So far that I know of, we've had 1 report of a tornado off to the southwest of Norman, Oklahoma, and that was about 5 o'clock this evening, about an hour and a half ago. I'm not seeing a lot of hail reports or wind reports either in these storms. And I don't see any other tornado reports on my screen here that's come from any of these tornado warnings that we've had this evening. That doesn't mean that there's not any damage out there that I'm not getting the reports on. Check another map here and see what kind of other reports we've been having on these. Looks like a inch hail 5 miles northeast of Etowah, Oklahoma, in Pottawatomie County earlier this evening. Four miles south of Pink, they had 1 inch hail in that area from the storms that are moving through Oklahoma City. 3 miles southwest of Tinker Air Force Base, they had inch hail with these storms that move through. $50 size hail 4 miles southeast of Valley Brook. These were all earlier reports, not really going on right now, but as this line of storms moves off across central and eastern Oklahoma, pretty much from Manford, Pahuska, Manford, Bristow, Akima, Seminole, those areas. I mean, all these storms are producing 3/4 up to an inch size hail with them, and up to 60-mile-per-hour winds. Looks like they have extended the tornado warning back here. Looks like the Davis, Oklahoma tornado warning storm back here. Looks like they've extended this particular warning until 7:15 p.m. this evening for the next 45 minutes. This tornado warning storm is moving northeast at 28 miles per hour. It is radar indicated. The locations of Roth, the communities of Roth, Fitztown, Fitzhugh, Ada, Hickory, and Sulphur are all in line with this storm. So if you live in those communities, be on the lookout. The rotation with this storm is still back here off to the east of Davis, between Davis back here and Sulphur here. Rotation right here in this little notched area is what we're looking at. This will be moving off into the north and east into this tornado warning here. Still have 2 storms that are tornado warned. Stratford off to the Bing and Ada areas, and then back down here to the Roth and Hickory and Sulphur areas. If you live in those areas of east central Oklahoma, you want to be on your shelters now. You are under tornado warnings for the next 30 to 45 minutes. These particular tornado warning storms will move off to the east, northeast throughout the next hour or so. Like I said earlier, they will likely congeal with the cold front. That's this line of storms back here. And this line of storms back here will probably gobble these storms up out in front of the line out here around the Sulphur area. But as of for right now, they're still tornado warned out here. The Ada and Sulphur areas, Roth, in those areas for the next 30 to 45 minutes. Looks like we've got a fairly new tornado warning. Change to a new radar site here. Looks like for the Windhorst and Archer City. Looks like your rotation is going to be right here in this area. Right in this general area right here is your main rotation of this storm. This tornado warning goes on for the next 44 minutes. This is between Scotland and Windhorst in northwestern Texas. This is the first time we've had a tornado warning in Texas so far this evening. So this is straight south of Wichita Falls, several miles. The communities, let's get you some more communities here that's going to be affected in the next several minutes. I don't really see too many more communities in this particular box, so we're talking probably mainly rural areas of north central Oklahoma. Looks like it'll affect Windhorst in the next 5 minutes or so. And I really don't see any other communities downstream in the particular line of storms here in the tornado warning box. And if you do live in those rural areas of north central Texas, you want to be on the lookout for any more tornado warnings. Sounds like the rain's just now moving in to the Parsons, Kansas area here. Yep. And here in southeast Kansas, looks like not a lot of severe weather this evening. Don't even see many hail markers with this at all. Just going to be some very heavy rain. And that's kind of what they've been predicting here in the eastern Kansas, southeastern Kansas area. We're supposed to pick up a good inch to an inch and a half of rain overnight tonight. Looks like I said earlier, we've still got the tornado warnings in south central Oklahoma, Sulphur, Ada, those areas here, and then back down towards Archer City and Wichita Falls, Texas area. Got a new tornado warning down here in this area. If this changes and gets any worse, I'll probably jump back on, but I think I'm going to probably jump off for right now. This has been Russ with Russ's Weather Recon this evening. It's about 6:30 p.m. Central Daylight Time on June the 3rd, 2025. Like I said, I will jump back on here if things change in the near future. This will likely from about Oklahoma City area all the way up into the, looks like Nevada, Missouri area. Like they even got a severe thunderstorm warning for the Jefferson City, Missouri area now. Up there in that area. But this is going to be a line of storms all the way down along the cold front that will affect the areas of southeastern Kansas, eastern Oklahoma, and down into Texas. Starting to develop into Texas now this evening. But I am going to jump off of here. I've enjoyed doing this evening, keeping everybody updated. I look forward to doing a lot more of this. And as we go, I will have new tools to use, and we will just kind of go from there. We will all talk to you later, and stay weather aware.